Hey. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Vibrant Health Show. I'm going to give people a few minutes to jump on. I'm going to tag everybody because this one's going to be really good.
That's right.
I have a special guest and I have a very fun story to share with you guys. So you're going to want to be on for this one. As always, I will have my comments open. I'll be checking. So if you are on live, on the replay, if you're watching on YouTube, we will come back and check these. So please leave comments, ask questions. Dr. Justin will come back and look at these as well if there's any questions you have for him. But I am so excited to get started with you guys today. I have a very special guest. This is Dr. Justin Mosley. He is the mindset doctor, and he is also one of my very best friends. We have been friends for 15 years, which feels incredible, but him and his wife are some of the sweetest, I know it goes so fast, the sweetest people we know. And what I love about Justin is what he's going to teach you guys today. I see him practice this and walk this out in his own life and with the people he coaches, and his just intuition and the way that he can connect with people is so brilliant and so beautiful. So he's going to share all kinds of cool stuff with us today. As I let people jump on, I'm going to tell you a story that I think will transition nicely into what Dr. Justin's going to teach us today. Something that happened to me over this past week, which honestly, I'm still kind of emotional about it. So if I tear up, like this was a big moment for me. So I want to start back in December. I have a 3-year-old daughter who has been in dance class, and she loves dance class. But she had her first Christmas recital in December, and she got such bad stage fright, she didn't do it. She would not go on stage. She had practiced so hard. She knew all her moves, and she just wouldn't do it. I couldn't talk her into it. I couldn't bribe her into it. It was just like not happening. So she has her next one. Her end of year recital is coming up next weekend. So since December, we have talked like probably 100 times about being brave, about feeling the fear and doing it anyways. And I've been telling her stories about how I still get nervous when I have to talk in front of people. I still get nervous before a new webinar, but I do it anyways. So we've been having this ongoing conversation. It's our bedtime talk about just like, it's okay to be nervous, but it doesn't hold us back from experiences, right? So we've been talking about this for months. So my husband and I this week go to get our scuba diving certification, and we did all of our training in the pool. We did all that, the skills and everything in the pool. And we were supposed to have just this checklist of things that we had left to do, and then our open water dives. During our pool training, there was one skill that I had a really hard time with. It was the one where you have to fully take your mask off and then replace it again. For whatever reason, as soon as I would take my mask off, I would feel that rush on my face and I would breathe in through my nose. So in the pool, I was like choking underwater, like nearly drowning, no joke, multiple times. But I was said to my husband, I was like, I'm going to figure this out. So I came home, I practiced in the bathtub, I practiced like anywhere I could figure out how to get that breathing. I practiced and I practiced and I practiced because it was one of the skills I had to do in the pool to pass to be able to go to the open water dives. And my instructor in the pool said, as long as you can get this down, I had to prove that I could do it, keep the mask off, swim around, put it back on. He's like, you don't have to do it again after this, but you need to show me you can do it. So I practiced for truly hours. I went to the pool and I did it. And I was so proud of myself. That's something I felt like I just overcame a fear. We ended our pool dives about a month ago, and then we went to the ocean for our open water dives. And there's 4 of them you have to do to get certified. The first 3, great. We had to do a couple of skills. We had to show that we could do some stuff. And the 4th dive was technically just supposed to be an exploration dive, right? If I even looking back on like the checklist of what you're supposed to do, the 4th dive is just dive, right? Go look at things, get used to your buoyancy, like figure it out. So dive 1, 2, and 3, he's telling us what we're going to do on all the other dives. He's telling us what skills we're going to do. And there was no mention of this a single time. On dive 4, we're in the boat in the middle of the ocean. I already have my gear on. I already have my fins on. Like we are about to roll off into the water. And he says, oh, on this one, we're going to do a tank release. We're going to do the take your mask off, put it back on. And we're going to do, and then we named a couple other ones. My heart sank. Like literally my husband, like I went white. We both locked eyes and I was like, I haven't practiced this in a month. I really didn't think I had to do this. And 50 feet under the freaking ocean isn't where I have to, like, I don't want to find out there that I don't remember how to do it because it really took a lot of practice the first time. And I was like full on choking under the water. I'm like, what am I going to do? Immediately, my fear takes over. I'm freaking out. I'm white. I'm shaking. I get into the water anyways, the whole first half of the dive. So we go under and he's like, we'll leave this one to the very last. We go under and the whole dive, I'm thinking of every reason why I'm not going to do this, right? Every excuse comes up. I'm like, okay, well, I could just go back up to the surface. I could practice all day in the pool and I can pay him to take me again tomorrow and I'll do it tomorrow. And then it was, you know what? I don't even have to get certified today. Maybe I don't get certified this time. I'll get certified next time. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And then after raving about the first 3 dives about how much I loved it, my brain even starts going to, maybe I don't like this that much. Like, I don't even want to get certified. Like, this isn't for me. Like, the craziness of how quickly my brain went into talking myself out of doing this, it was immediate. But I was truly so scared, shaking. I'm still shaking thinking about it. It was incredibly scary. So our dive master has this little freaking underwater Etch-a-Sketch, and he keeps writing me messages, knowing that I'm freaking out, right? He knew that I was very scared. So he's writing me messages, and they first start with like, come on, it's easy. And then it's like, that's just making me more mad, right? I'm just like getting irritated. And then the next one was, you can do this, like little messages. And then finally he wrote one that actually like hit home. He wrote, trust yourself. And I was like, oh crap, like that's what this comes down to. It's like, I have to trust that I'm in control of this situation, that it really is about me calming down enough to use the skills I know I've learned and trust that I'm going to be okay. And as soon as he wrote that, all I could think was, I can't go back to Nova, my daughter, and tell her I chickened out, right? We've been having this conversation for 5 months. Like, I can't go home and tell the kids I couldn't do it. Like, no part of me was willing to do that. And honestly, I had to dig to the depths. Like, this is truly life or death. Like, you choke under the ocean, that doesn't end well, right? But I knew I could trust myself. And when I did it, I can't even tell you, like, the amount of pride. Like, I was so freaking proud of myself. I was crying, I was shaking, like it was a big moment. And it made me think, when was the last time you did something you were so freaking proud of? Like, when you feel the fear and you do it anyways, there is nothing more rewarding than being like, no, I overcame that. I easily could have quit. I easily could have told nobody I didn't do it, right? And the thoughts all went through my head, but it came to that moment where it was trusting myself and knowing that it's okay to be fearful, but it doesn't hold you back from life experiences. And I had to take my own parenting advice, which I really didn't want to in the moment, but really actually do it. And I just want to encourage you guys, in addition to whatever Justin's going to teach us today, over the next 6 months, find something to do that you're just going to be so freaking proud of yourself. Maybe it's a business opportunity you've been putting off. Maybe it's a degree you haven't signed up to go get your courses for. Maybe it's a health challenge that you know you should be committing to yourself and to your health and you're not. There's something you're not doing because you're scared. And I want you to commit to yourself and trust yourself. And I want you to do something you're scared of that you're going to be so darn proud of when you do it, because there's nothing else like that. So hopefully my mini freak out.
I love that. That's awesome. Well, and I'm glad you shared that too, because a lot of times people see from outside looking in and they think, oh, Dr. Shannyn's just got it all together. She's got this amazing group. She's crushing it on her Instagram reels and TikTok and all the stuff that she does. I'm not like that. I have all these issues.
Yeah.
The truth is, we all have our issues. We all have our fears, our worries, our doubts. And that's one of my principles I live by too, is feel the fear and do it anyways. So I love that. It's so powerful. And that's why I love our conversations too, because we don't even like plan out what we're going to talk about, but we're so aligned. We just have these conversations. And it reminds me of a story. I was terrified of public speaking growing up. And even in college, I took a speech class. I almost failed the class because I had a panic attack during the speech. And I was shaking, my voice was shaking, my hands were shaking, this wave, this rush just went over my whole body. I almost passed out. And I created a story in my head, you can never be a public speaker. And I believed that story for a long time. And I had these dreams. I was like, man, I want to impact people's lives. I want to be able to speak. And because I looked up to Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield and these people that could get on stage and just move people. But I just said, you know what? That's not for me, because I believed the story in my head saying, you can't do this. But what I realized is you have to make whatever it is you want on the other side of your fear, you have to make that bigger than what's stopping you. And a friend of mine, Rory Vaden, has a saying. He says, fear disappears when the mission to serve is clear. Say that again. Fear disappears when the mission to serve is clear. And for me, I had to make the mission of the lives that I'm going to impact is more important than me being scared to get up here and teach this. So just like you, it's like I had to feel the fear and do it anyways. So I kept putting myself out there and putting myself out there, and I did overcome the fear. And had I not done that, who knows where I would be today. But because I did that, now I get to speak all over the world. And I've even done a TED Talk and all these cool things that never would have happened had I not felt the fear and did it anyways. And I truly believe, because remember, I had that story in my head, this isn't for you. I believe that most people don't get what they want in life because the story they tell themselves of why they can't have it. So you can't believe the story. You have to create a bigger story of who you are, what you want to accomplish, really what your purpose is.
Yeah. And I see that even, so this group is mostly here for health and wellness, but I see that so much even in people's health journeys is if you're thinking of all the reasons why you can't do this, my family doesn't support me, I have a crazy schedule, we're always traveling, my kids are in sports, like I hear it all. But if those are the things that you, just like me under the water, telling myself there was a million reasons why I shouldn't or couldn't do it, you can have every excuse not to do something for yourself, right? And it will become your reality. And then you end up struggling, suffering for it, right? You're the one who's sick. You're the one who doesn't feel good. You're the one who's exhausted. You're the one who can't lose the weight. But if you give yourself all of those outs and you take it, nothing's going to change, right? It's having all the reasons why you shouldn't and doing it anyways is what's going to get you everything you want on the other side.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I want to share here that I think, especially women too, I see this a lot. My wife is like this. Women take care of everybody else before they take care of themselves. My mom was like that too. It's just nature. It's like you guys love on people, you care about people, but you got to make time for yourself. And one of the mentalities that comes along with this, say we lose our health, we get stressed out, we're overworked, is we have this victim mentality that life is happening to me. And so I want to create a shift right now, because when you change the way you see your world, your entire world changes. So instead of looking at your world that life is happening to me, you have to look at it as life is happening for me. With whatever's going on, good or bad, whatever's happening in your life is happening for you. And when you start to look at life in that perspective, whatever it is, it's a gift. There's lessons in those moments that you can learn to actually move past this. And there's a story of two brothers. One got strung out on drugs, ended up homeless, alcoholic, drugs, all that stuff. The other brother, very successful entrepreneur. So they interviewed both brothers because they wanted to know, like, why is one brother super successful and this other one is homeless and on drugs? They interviewed both brothers and they asked them, how did you end up like this? They both had the exact same answer. They said, I had an abusive father. One chose to look at that experience and be the victim and say, you know what? I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Nobody loves me. I'm going to go down this path of drugs and alcohol. The other one took the exact same experience and said, I'm not going to let that define me. I'm actually going to show my worth. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to overcome this because I am an overcomer. So just that one shift. Life doesn't happen to me. It happens for me. And that's usually where people stop. But there's other levels. So life doesn't happen to me. It happens for me. Then it happens by me. Because then you start to realize your outside world is a reflection of your inside world. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are creating the results that you have in your life right now. So when you actually take that to heart, and the Bible talks about holding every thought captive. If we really did that and thought about our own thoughts, man, we say stuff to ourselves that we would never say to other people. So we had to get those thoughts out of our head and realize life is happening by me. The thoughts that I'm thinking, the feelings that I'm feeling, and the actions that I'm taking today are going to lead to my results tomorrow. So then the next level, going from life doesn't happen to me, happens for me, and then happens by me. And the last one then is it happens through me. So life happens through me means, again, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions aren't only about you and your outside world, but it affects everyone around you. It affects your spouse. It affects your kids. It affects relationships, your work. Whatever you do is all affected by your thinking, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. That's the only really three things we have our own control of. You can't, and we can't be a victim. We can't say, a good thing to do is like check in with your own feelings, because feelings are a way we can tell if we're in a positive energy or a negative energy. Because we talk about, how do I feel? I feel down. I'm in a low vibration, a low energy, or I'm feeling really good. But we also, our language is very important, because we say that person made me feel this way. They upset me. They hurt me. Well, think about this. Nobody can make you feel anything. If you look at it from that perspective, yes, they might have said something to you. They might have hurt your feelings, but you chose to let that affect you. So that's a hard one at first when you're really thinking about it. But if you realize that and you take control and take your own responsibility for your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, no matter what someone says to you, you get to choose your own response to that. So when you do that, your whole world can change from going down a negative downward spiral, being upset, frustrated, living in a negative environment, to shifting it and say, you know what, I'm going to have this positive energy, this positive outlook, because no positive good result ever came from a negative, frustrated state. You have to shift it from the positive. So life's not happening to you. It's happening for you. It's happening by you, but it's also happening through you.
Lots of people saying good stuff. They're resonating with this. Tell me in the comments, what are you taking away from this? What's your biggest takeaway so far? And then I want to get into a little bit about how we teach people how to shift that, because first of all, realizing that is a big light bulb moment, but then it takes practice, right? It's a skill to start to be able to control your emotions. One that I'm still practicing, right? I will find myself in those moods. I'll find myself in that thought process, just like I did last week. And it was up to me to change that. And it's so funny. Again, I love that we think very similarly, but exactly my internal dialogue was, this isn't happening to me. This is happening for me. This is this is God give me another chance, right? To woman up and face my fears. Like, why did they choose to have me do that skill on a dive when it wasn't supposed to happen? Like, very much believe that happened for me. But then even through that, right, you can realize it, but then how do you start to reframe or reposition your thought process so that you can get out of victim mentality? Because that's hard.
Yeah. And something very powerful from what you just said, I want to share, because look at that perfect example of that happened for her. So now she had a story to share with all of us, and that can inspire us and move us to go forward. So look at that. The things that are happening to you are happening for you for a reason. One, you can overcome them, you can learn lessons, but then you can share it with other people. Again, I go back to Rory Vaden. A friend of mine has this quote too: you are most perfectly positioned to serve the person you once were. So you think about the person you were, you've grown so much over the years. You've went through things, you've had the experience, like Dr. Shannyn had this lesson she learned. Now she can speak life into other people with that. So you guys listening have life lessons you can share with other people. A lot of people that I see, they're like, I don't have a story. I don't have a message. Well, let me tell you, everyone has a story, and you have a story that needs to be told. So there's people out there that you need to speak life into. So I wanted to hit that first, but then I wanted to share, if you're writing this down, write this down. You can never do better than your own self-image. You can never outperform the way you see yourself. So especially when it comes to health, Dr. Shannyn can give you the perfect plan, outline everything you need to do. But if in your mind, you see yourself as stressed out, overworked, sick, and you identify as that, you're never going to get the healing that you need. You have to create a new self-image. So one of the things, it's very simple. Most people don't do it. And that's the problem with mindset stuff. It's the thing that people need the most, but people just write it off. They think of what's the next thing I need to do and make happen versus, no, we got to change here first. So very simple thing you have to do, write out, who am I becoming? And language is very important too. Not who do I want to be, because you'll always be stuck in that perpetual, I want to be something in the future. No, who am I becoming? Because it starts today. In this moment, I'm going to make different decisions. So create an image in your mind of what is this healthiest, highest version of you? What do they look like? What are their actions that they take? What are their habits and routines? How often are they working out? What type of food are they eating? Think about this when it comes to health. Somebody who lives a healthy lifestyle automatically makes healthy decisions. I know how Dr. Shannyn and I live. Like, we don't eat fast food. It's like when we're out and we have to think of something to eat, it doesn't even cross our mind that, oh, we could go to McDonald's or Taco Bell. That's not who we are. That's not part of our self-image. So when you start to create a higher self-image of yourself, write it out. It's very important to get it down on paper and look at that every single day, because you need to make steps towards that every single day. You got to change the image of who you are, and then you have to become it.
Yeah. No, but to that point is once you decide who you want to be, it's following up with your action steps. So we had neighbors who were talking to my son, who's going to be 9, and they were asking them, and they kind of thought it was a joke. They were going through all the different fast food chains, asking him which ones he's tried. The answer is 0. Like, my kid's never had McDonald's and he never will. My kid's never been to Taco Bell and he's not going to. And they thought it was so funny and weird and different that, like, he'd never tried these things, but that's how we live our life. Truly, what we speak into you, we mirror exactly what we teach you guys. So I know it's not easy. It's not easy. It requires us to plan. It requires me to anchor into my beliefs every day, because it would be so much easier to go through McDonald's. I know it, but it's not who I am. And we make sure we do that.
And with that being said, like, where our office was, like, every day, apparently I drove by this Taco Bell, and then for years, like 5 years, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I looked over there and I saw it. I never even knew that Taco Bell was there,
Right?
Because it didn't even register that I would even want Taco Bell or anything. But apparently I drove by it every day and never even knew it was there. And then one day I was like, when did they put that there? And it had been there for 5 years. So, but that goes back to, you have to change who you are. You got to create the vision of it. And then how would that person live? And then take those action steps. What time does that person go to bed? Maybe I need to get more sleep. What does the highest version of me do? They sleep more. They have more laughter in their life. They take more breaks. They're not focused on work all the time. They give themselves a chance to rest and recover. What is the highest version of you? Who do you need to become? Who do you want to become? And how can you take action steps towards that today?
I love that. I challenge you guys all to do that as homework. You are going to write down your who am I becoming statement. And I would love for any of you willing to do so to come back in the group and post it. Let other people see what that version of you is, because I think there's something really cool about accountability. It's like, no, I can say it to me, but I also want to make sure I'm putting it out where other people understand I'm making steps in the right direction. And that never means perfection, right? There are all kinds of stuff I mess up on all the time. It's recommitting and continuing to make those steps in the right direction. But it's first you deciding who that is and then putting it out there, because you're never going back, right? Not being scared to tell people that you're doing something different because you might fail or you might fall off track. It's committing to it and letting everybody know so that they can help hold you accountable and support you through that.
Yeah. And I'd say not only for you, like when you put yourself out there, you give other people the courage to put themselves out there. Because a lot of people are like waiting, like, I don't really want to, I don't feel comfortable. But as soon as people start to share, they feel open. And the more vulnerable you get, the more freeing it is for you. It allows other people to get vulnerable and frees them as well.
No, see, this is such perfect homework. You have to do something you're scared to do, and then you will feel proud about it. Come in the group and share your who am I becoming statement. Even if you're shaking as you write it, even if you are nervous as you press send, come in this group and share with us. Part of what I do here in this group is to become a community and accountability together. What a perfect way to start that for you guys. Yeah. Who am I becoming statement posted right here inside the group. If you're watching the replay, go back to the group. If you're on YouTube, you can post it in the comments. But I'm challenging you, step out of your comfort zone. Who from this day forward do you want to be? Who are you becoming? Write that down and come back and let us be accountable with you.
Yeah. And speaking of accountability, because that's so important, we hold ourselves accountable to other people more than we do ourselves. And you think about it, that happens to New Year's resolutions all the time. We make these resolutions that the average person doesn't last to January 4th because they're not really committed. But when we commit to someone else, let's say I'm going to meet somebody at the gym every morning at 5 a.m. Well, if it's just me by myself committing to 5 a.m., all of a sudden that alarm's going to go off. And you know what? it's too cold outside the covers. I'm too tired. I can do this tomorrow. And then pretty soon I'm not going to make a habit of going to the gym at 5 a.m. But if I know somebody else is waiting on me to be there when my alarm goes off at 4:30, I'm going to get out of bed because I don't want to let that other person down. So it's very important to have accountability. Having accountability in a group like this, having accountability with coaches and mentors that can guide you along the way is so important to getting the results you're looking for.
Yeah, it's huge. And a lot of people, and I remember hearing early on in my career is like, no, but even the best athletes, coaches, they have coaches, they have accountability, because it's something about having someone in your corner that continues to push you, because it is so much easier to fall off when it's just you. So I always have a coach or somebody for accountability. I don't doctor myself. I go to somebody else. Like, there's a reason for that, right? You need somebody to help you get through those blocks forever. You're never at a level where that's not a relevant statement.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Tiger Woods at the height of his game had 2 different swing coaches. Making very tiny tweaks can make a huge impact in his game. And I truly believe everyone needs a coach in life, because a great coach can change your life. And the reality is like, why go at it alone when somebody can actually help you go further, faster, save you time, save you energy by just giving you the plan? So that's why I call it writing a check to go faster. If I can invest with this person here and they'll get me where I want to go a lot faster, sign me up. So everyone needs a great coach in life, because it's going to take the guesswork out of it too. Like, just show me the way. That's why I have multiple coaches. And if you need a coach in health, Dr. Shannyn, that's the person to go to. If you need a coach in finance, find you a financial advisor. Business, mindset, I can help there. It's like, whatever you need, there's a coach out there that can get you through it. And listen up right now. Don't go at this alone. I see this way too much as people suffer in silence, trying to figure it out themselves. Hey, speak up, get uncomfortable, reach out, get you a coach, especially in health, because health has got to be your top priority, because nothing else matters. Like, people will pay anything in the world to get their health back. And I remember, speaking of Tiger Woods, they interviewed him after he won one of his Masters and talked about how exciting that was. And he said it was his dad passed away like not long before that. He said, I would give it all back for one more day with my dad. That's how important health is. So definitely get you a health coach.
But yet we put that on the back burner, right? It's always when I have time, I'm too busy. We have all the excuses. And I think that's the unfortunate thing is, in my experience, I see people invest in a lot of other things before their health, right? They're doing the things that they're buying and vacations and all that, which is great. I want you to do all of that. But for whatever reason, those things seem to come before really making sure you're investing in yourself and your physical health and your mental health. There will be no more important investment ever in your life, no matter who you choose as a coach or as a guide or whatever you're looking for. So highly recommend. And Dr. Justin has so many free and easy accessible resources. Tell them the best ways to find you. If you know mindset's a struggle, if you're listening today being like, that is totally me. I always find myself in a funk. I'm always in a bad mood, or I'm low energy, or people hurt my feelings a lot. These are all signs that there's some mindset work that you need to work through. And there's tons of ways to access that information.
Yeah. So one of the easiest ways, just go to MindShift Links. So mindshiftlinks.com. I've got tons of free resources. Even there's a baseball technique that I have that helps prime your reticular activating system in your brain to help you manifest results faster in your life. So a lot of the stuff that I teach, I give away for free. So mindshiftlinks.com. Also follow me on Instagram at Dr. Justin Mosley. I'm always giving great stuff out there, just like Dr. Shannon's doing with health. That's what I'm doing with mindset. And I wanted to go back to something you just said right there, because there's a mindset to that. Like, I have to invest in my health or my vacation or this. There's a limiting belief that I can't have it all. And the reality is you can have it all, but you have to have the right plan. And that's where getting with someone like Dr. Shannyn can give you the health plan. And she can also work, like, how do we figure it all out? How can I get you healthy so you can go on that vacation and actually enjoy your life? So you got to shift that belief that I can have it all. And because a lot of times it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And the healthier you are, the more energy you have, the more resourceful you become. So you can actually find a way to make it all happen.
It is interesting. I was actually just thinking this weekend that I was going to do more videos about just kind of some earlier experiences from my husband and I, because I will hear that a lot. So I hear people already, I can hear their thought processes like, yeah, but I can't afford that, right? Or I don't have that money, or I don't know what I could do to get that. And something I've not spoken very publicly about at all, that I think that I'm going to start a lot more, is the process that it took for my husband and I to get to where we are. Like, we literally come from zero money. Neither of our college was paid for. Our graduate degrees weren't paid for. My doctorate wasn't paid for. We had no money. I moved across the continent. I'm Canadian. I moved from East Coast Canada to West Coast California to get my doctorate because I wanted it. I figured it out. I literally moved here with no cell phone, no car, one bag. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this. I worked every weekend to make sure I could pay for my education. When we were going through graduate school, we worked every weekend to pay for our rent. I remember doing health fairs for other doctors just to have enough money to pay my tuition for the next one. And sometimes not knowing if I was going to have enough money for the next semester of tuition, and knowing that I wanted this bad enough that we were going to figure this out. So when people have that excuse of like, well, I just can't afford it. Truly, the life I live now, couldn't afford any of this, right? The only way we got what we wanted was persistence. And I had a mission and a vision that I wanted to help people that was stronger than any excuse I could have had. And we struggled for years. I'm telling you, like $0 in the bank account, not knowing where the next meal was coming from for a very long time. So there is truly no excuse. There is nothing you can't do. In this day and age, you can find some side hustle on the internet. You can sell some stuff on eBay. Like, if your health or your mindset is a big enough priority, you will figure it out. So don't look at people at a different level and just assume, oh, well, you had it easier, or you did it different than me. No, it's people who want it, who get it. But you have to want it bad enough to go and figure out what it's going to take to get there.
Yeah. And that goes back to where we started this conversation. You had a mission and vision that was bigger than your excuses. And that's what it's all about. And I was in that same position too. I remember, speaking of coaching and how important I knew that was, my wife, Courtney, and I, she's a chiropractor, and we actually went and trained with this other doc. We had no money, but we knew if we trained with him, writing a check to go faster, we could get his experience. He could help us along the way. I sold my car so we could only have one car. We could have some money to live off of. We both worked in his office for $500 a week. Split that. You can't really live two people. We made it work though. But then with our own self-image, remember, health is very important to us. I remember grabbing up change. How much loose change can we get? But we're still going to buy this healthy meat because it's that important to us. We might be able to not afford some other things. We're not going to sacrifice with what we're putting into our bodies, but it was worth it. And just like what you just shared, what you went through, you didn't have the mentality of this is happening to me. It happened for you. And now you're more resilient because of what you went through. Think about it. Every time you go through something, you get stronger. And now you have a story to tell. And then the next thing that comes, you're not like, oh, this is going to put me back down. He's like, no, I've overcome so much. I can handle this easily. And every time you handle something new, you get stronger and stronger. And that's why it's all mindset. That's what it comes down to. You have to have the right mindset. You have to know what you value. So that's where your own self-image, creating who that is. Who am I? Who am I becoming? How does that person eat? What do they value with their health? And you don't stray away from that. You become that person. And every single day you have to remind yourself you're becoming that person, because it's easy to go back to our old ways, to our old comfort zone. You mentioned comfort zone as well. If you guys want to hear about comfort zone, go look at my TED Talk. So just on YouTube, just look up Justin Mosley. My TED Talk will come up. And I share about I had a near-death accident. And the lesson from that was I had gotten comfortable. I knew that God, I'm still here for a reason. Like, we all question our purpose. But after surviving a near-death accident, I was like, why am I still here? Because this could have been different. What if I didn't hear wake up because I heard a voice that actually woke me up? And I was trapped underwater? What if I wasn't able to free myself? This could have been totally different. So then I realized, man, I've settled. God's called me to so much more. And I realized if I truly wanted to walk out the calling that God has on my life, I needed to exchange my comfort for my calling. And I think a lot of people, that's a message for you right now. It's time to exchange your comfort for your calling. Get your health back. Do whatever it takes. make that a high priority in your life. And again, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have more freedom on the other side of your health to make other things happen in your life. So can't stress that enough. You got to have that top priority.
I love that. And some of you right now are thinking, but I don't know what my calling is, right? Or maybe I don't have a calling. In that, who am I becoming? I think that's a really important, you have to understand what that is. And it doesn't have to be, everyone thinks it has to be this big, giant, like life-altering calling. No, maybe you really struggled as a single mom. Mentor single moms, right? And it doesn't have to be in a large capacity. Find a group of women you can pour into. Maybe you've had troubles with weight loss and you know there's a lot of people who emotionally struggle with that. It doesn't matter. There's something you're passionate about. There's something that the version of you 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago was really struggling with that you can help somebody else out now from that version of who you used to be. But I think that's so important to have something, and it can be your kids, whatever, but you need something that feels bigger than you, that is going to be what you anchor to when you want to give up. And there will be days you won't hit it every day, right? It's okay. You wake up tomorrow and you read that statement again. You add something to it, right? Keep adding things that make it more and more emotionally tied to your heart. And you look at it every freaking day. I remember at the hardest of the hard, when I didn't know if any of the things that we wanted were actually going to happen for us, I would go back to my mission statement every freaking day. I am the woman who changes women's healthcare. I am the woman for this job. Like, I would tell myself that long before I was ever doing it, that was me, even though in that moment it didn't feel like me at all. I would anchor to that every day. I still have the original paper I wrote out, and I keep adding to it as new dreams and new callings happen. But you have to have something that you anchor to, and you go back to it daily.
Absolutely. And that was part of my TED talk. I talked about the comfort zone, and it takes force to get out of your comfort zone, because comfort is easy. So it's easy to eat bad food. It's easy not to work out and not to make healthy decisions. And I talked about there's different zones when you get out of the comfort zone, but it is your calling, which is made up of your mission, your vision, and your purpose, that is the force that pulls you out of your comfort zone into living the life that you were called to live. And it's about making that bigger than yourself. And what you were saying, it goes back to the quote I shared of, you are perfectly positioned to serve the person you once were. And I think about even Dr. Shannyn with your story, like, you're so passionate about women's health because you had your own health struggles and you overcame that. And you were like, I want to bring this to all women. So that became a new passion for you because of what you went through. Again, it didn't happen to you. It happened for you, and then by you, and now through you and all the people that you're helping. So that's a perfect example of that. But then I think we have to hit on the affirmations now then, because you did that. Because I believe that, I tell people you have to speak louder than the voices in your head.
Yeah.
And recognize we all have those voices. You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. You'll always be overweight. You can never stick to a plan. Whatever stories you have to create an affirmation that's the opposite of that it helps you overcome it. And if you say it to yourself enough, you will start believing it. And I would make affirmations. I do think most people do affirmations wrong. They'll just like Google somebody's affirmation list and they'll start saying them over and over. You have to find ones that are related to you and who you want to become. So that's why it's important to get the vision of who you want to become and who you are becoming, and then create affirmations that is who you're becoming. What Dr. Shannyn just shared, she had specific affirmations of, this is who I am. And the next step is you got to feel it. It's not just words that you're saying. You have to feel it emotionally. Because I talk a lot about the mind. So we have our conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Conscious mind is thinking, subconscious mind is feeling. So we have to tap into the feeling emotions to actually change our own subconscious mind, which is the programming. So our old programming that we've been running for years, if you truly want to make a change, you have to tap into the subconscious mind. So a great way to do that is the affirmations with the deep emotion, where you truly can see yourself, feel yourself being that person. And I don't even call it visualization. I think that's not enough, because visualization could be like you're watching a movie screen of who you're becoming. I want you to do mental performance, mental rehearsal. So I want you to be that person. What does it feel like to actually do this, to eat healthy food, to make the right decisions? What does it feel like to be this healthiest version of me, and get as real as you can? And there's a couple of studies that I like. They did one they took people that couldn't play piano, and they had them do exercises, one-handed piano exercises. They took one group and said, I just want to practice these exercises every day. And the other group, I don't want you to practice on a piano, but I want you to mentally rehearse that you're playing the piano. Don't physically touch a piano, but just mentally rehearse it. Both groups did it. They actually did functional MRIs on the brain. They showed the exact same parts of the brain were firing on the people physically playing the piano and the people mentally rehearsing the piano. And at the end of the study, both of those people, both groups, got the same proficiency in being able to play the piano, because your mind can't tell the difference in something real and something vividly imagined. So that's the power of mental rehearsal. You can become something different because you can think it and you can feel it. And because of that, and doing that over and over and really rehearsing it, you become something different. And the other study I like with that is Ohio State University did it with basketball. And they had people shoot free throws. One group, I want you to shoot free throws every day for 30 days. Second group, I don't want you to touch a basketball. Third group, I don't want you to touch a basketball, but I want you to vividly imagine every single day you're shooting a free throw. I want you to feel the weight of the ball in your mind. I want you to hear what it sounds like when you're dribbling it. Feel what it feels like to make the shot. Hear the ball actually going in the net. And the more you use your senses, the more you feel it, the more real it becomes. So at the end of that study, the group that shot free throws every single day got 24% better. The group that didn't shoot any free throws didn't get any better. But the group that didn't touch a basketball but mentally rehearsed it got 23% better. Only 1% off than the group that shot free throws every single day. That's the power of your mind. The problem is we're not even conscious of what we're thinking. Most of us, we just go through the routine of life. We're on autopilot every single day. That's why it's important to set the vision of who you want to become, affirm who you are, vividly rehearse who you are. And that's where you make change. And that's where you make lasting change.
I love that. And if you're a parent, this is stuff I wish somebody would have taught me this when I was younger. I would have saved a whole lot of stuff. We did the exact same thing on drives. My son plays football. On drives to his football games, he closes his eyes and he pictures himself catching that ball, making the touchdown, bringing in the interception. He does it every day before games and before bed. My husband sits with him and he says, close your eyes, like picture, like, what's your big game? Like, what's your big play this game? And he'll rehearse it in his mind over and over again, because then he gets in that game and he's ready. He's already seen it 100 times in his brain. He's ready to do it. And it's so powerful. If somebody would have taught me that when I was 9 years old, like how cool would life have been?
Yeah, so absolutely.
We struggle with it because people didn't tell us. I didn't learn any of this until my 30s. Like I wish this would have been part of our curriculum. Instill it early, and they're not going to have the self-image issues and the imposter syndrome issues that most of us have, because we just didn't know this stuff. And we've really developed these neural pathways that now we're working so hard to unwind. Starting it early and giving them a whole different look on life is so cool to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I wish, like you said, I wish I would have known it sooner. Thankfully, I did learn it pretty young. I read my first Tony Robbins book at 16.
Oh, really?
So at least that got me excited about, you know what, if you change your mind, you can change your life. Yeah. But then again, it's work. Life happens. We get off track. We forget how important, because a lot of times it's the simple things. It's really simple to sit here and vividly imagine what it would be like to have a great life. Problem is, I can't just get up from the chair and my life has changed. So because we can't feel it immediately, we think it doesn't work. So we stop doing it. But the reality is, just do it consistently over time. And you guys have probably heard of the study. It takes 21 days to create a habit. Well, I just learned recently that's actually a lie. And it's based off of a study that was done by Harvard and actually backed by Stanford. And it said it takes 21 days to create a habit if you do meditation and relaxation techniques. Mm-hmm. If you don't, it could take up to 18 months to actually change and create a new habit. Yep. So that's how important changing the mind by relaxing, changing your brain waves, doing visualization can actually create new habits much faster than just trying to go out and just do different stuff each day.
which is why if you've ever done one of my challenges in this group, what do I always have provided for you? 21 days of mindset, visualization, shifts in your brain, in addition to your healthy eating and your just eating right. And this is the crazy, just eating right and exercising probably won't make you healthy, right? We've been told that for so long, but realistically, if that was the key, y'all would be healthy by now. You have to get the mindset, you have to get the proper testing, you have to have all of those pieces together. That's why so many people are frustrated and stuck. And one of the best things you can start with, if nothing else today, we've given you several pieces of homework. One, you're going to pick something that you're scared of and you're going to freaking do it in the next 6 months. You are going to commit to something and you're going to be so proud of yourself when you do it. You're going to write your I am becoming statement. Who are you committed and anchored to becoming over these next years? You're going to write it down and you're going to share it with us for accountability. And then I want you to make sure that you are doing something for mindset. You have all of those free resources. I dropped the links in the comments. I'll come back and add up the links where you can find Dr. Justin, but commit to mindset. Truly in the beginning, until you hire a coach, it's also free, right? If you're thinking about money, you're worried about money, start with all the free resources. You have no lack of resources. If you need free health resources, I have hours of videos in this group. Do not let money be the reason you're not well. Start where you can and build up until you're able to, or decide it's worth it to hire the person, to hire the coach. But those are your 3 homeworks. You're going to do those 3 things. You're going to check back in and tell us you did it. And if you do it consistently over time, I promise you, your life changes. You will not look back a year from now and be the same person. You won't be stuck in the same place. Things will happen for you because, right, it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. And eventually you'll start seeing it happening through you. But you have to start with the things we talked about today. Have to. If you don't do those, you're going to look back just as frustrated in a year from now, and nobody wants that for you.
Yeah. Consistency is definitely the key. And what's cool about it is we've seen it. We've seen it in those we work with, but we lived it ourselves. So it's not just us teaching some hypothetical thing that we learned off the internet. Like, no, this is real life stuff we put into practice every single day. And now we're just giving that to others, and we see results. They see results if they stay consistent with it. So yeah, absolutely.
100%. This was so good. You guys have to have so many great things that you can go back and use. Got lots of thank yous on here. All right, Dr. Justin, the Mindset Doctor, leave us with your parting words of wisdom. What is the final thing you want to leave everybody with today?
I'm gonna keep it very simple. If you change your mind, you can change your life. It's so true. But it starts with thinking. Control your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and do it consistently every day. Like Dr. Shannyn said, you will see changes.
Yeah, 100%. I love that, guys. As always, the replay will be available. We'll get these sent out. You'll have it on YouTube. If you know somebody who needed to hear this, please share. Please go check Dr. Justin. Follow him on Instagram. Go watch his TED Talk. I mean, it's so amazing. Who gets to do a TED Talk? Like, that's cool. Go watch it on YouTube and follow him. He gives so many great resources and he's just a wonderful human being. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Come back, ask questions, leave comments. Please post your becoming statement in the group. I will be so proud of you for doing that. And then I'll be here to be accountable with you guys. So have a great rest of your day. And we'll be back next week with another health topic. Thank you, Dr. Justin.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll see you soon.
Bye. Yes.